As you see here, is the place where Garvey lives. Maybe I can open the cage so that they can have a look on Garvey.
Here in Mozambique, the Crictimus gambianus, or as it's better known, the African giant pouched rat, is no longer feared or reviled.
Yes, this is Garvey. Hey, come on.
In fact, rats like Garvey are fondly admired by their human colleagues.
It's a very good rat.
Yeah.
It's a social and hardworking.
Albert and Abdullah are two rat trainers who have helped give the rodents a makeover from vermin to lifesaver. But even they admit to being sceptical in the beginning.
Mostly in our African culture, rats are considered as a useless animal. So at first when I heard that rats are being used for demining, I didn't believe it.
Here at this rat training camp in Shockway, near the Limpopo River, these furry heroes are going through their final training. Running on lines between their handlers, they are sniffing for the bits of non-lethal TNT that have been laid here. When the rats detect some explosive, they indicate by scratching the ground. The trainers then make a clicking noise to let them know they can return for a reward.
What we're trying to do is, here the rats are an African solution to an African problem.
Andrew Sully works for Apopo, the Belgian NGO which runs the rat program. He says the inspiration came from scientific work dating back decades.
Well, rats have actually been used for the detection of explosives for many, many years. I mean, there were experiments using laboratory rats back in the 50s, if not before that.
Putting that research into practice hasn't been easy, and each rat takes 2 years to train. But they have some distinct advantages over their canine counterparts. Unlike sniffer dogs, they're loyal to food rather than one particular trainer. And they can also be more effective on windy days like today.
He still can manage to get the smell of TNT. If it could be a dog that will be difficult for them to get because the dog is somewhat higher from the ground, but the rat is very low from the ground. That's why he can manage also to get the smell.
It's early morning and the rat team is getting ready to move out.
It's good to travel during early because if the temperature gets higher, then the rats also start to face some problem of hydration, start to lose energy.
Their mission is to demine a remote rural village 5 hours away by road. Sadly for the rats, it's economy class all the way.
Those cages, we just use them for traveling. But if we arrive there, we remove the rats from the traveling cages and we put them in bigger living cages where they can play around and enjoy themselves.
Demining teams have spent more than a decade trying to clear Mozambique of landmines. Millions of them were laid during the 10-year fight for independence and the 2 decades of civil war that followed. Today, the rat team is on its way to the former garrison village of Hut.
From the initial surveys that have been done, I think there have been about 5 or 6 mine accidents in this sort of horseshoe shape, which was the mined area around the barracks.
This area is currently bone dry, but soon the rains will come and these roads will be unpassable. The deminers know they'll have to move quickly.
And so we'll probably run 12 rats a day, which will be 1,200 square metres a day. So a task like this we'd expect to take 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
In the village of Hut, there's great excitement at the imminent arrival of the demining team. Only a few hundred people have returned here since the end of the Civil War, and almost all of them have been affected by landmines. Samora Machel witnessed the death of one of the villagers. Martyrs had to learn to live with landmines, inventing stories to keep first her children and now her grandchildren safe. For 10 years, villagers have been waiting for help to clear the mines. Now it's at hand. They're surprised to hear what form the help is taking.
La abati ka ba tshama ba kulambe bana ba mina ba ta biwa emamini.
Five hours after they set off, the rats have finally made it. But the journey has clearly exacted a toll. Rat team leader Vendeline Sharima is worried about his rodents. They all appear to have passed out.
Is it stress or is it heat?
Yeah, they became a little bit tired because of the journey and also the weather due to the heat.
Luckily, today is a rest day, for the rats at least.
That is still full.
Yes, still full.
And we're emptying that?
Yes.
The demining team is busy clearing the scrub before the rats can be put to work. Already they've spotted 2 landmines. They almost drove over them.
We actually know that there have been 8 mine victims around this area, and so we've got a high expectancy of finding more mines.
The next day, work begins early. The rats have recovered, but there's no breakfast for them. Instead, they're kept peckish to keep them focused and only fed when their day is done. The rat handlers suit up before they venture out to the minefield.
Actually, it's a protective gear, so it's much safer to wear it rather than going in without it.
Alfredo Adama gave up his job as a school teacher to work with the rats, and he's proud of his new career.
Because I know every time we find a mine and we destroy it, I know if you continue there, something bad should happen, either to a person or to an animal that it's actual cattle or whatever.
The area the deminers are working in today lies either side of a track leading down to a borehole, the area's main water source.
So they put mines in this area in order to protect those local people inside here.
The rats are put to work traversing the minefield. They are not heavy enough to set off a landmine, and their scratching when they find one is lighter still.
So, Alfredo, have any of the rats indicated anything yet?
Yes.
Enough
Two
to...
rats have indicated.
Each carefully pegged out box will be gone over not once, but twice by 2 different rats. It's a system designed to eliminate error.
Yeah, the rats, they show indications, but not yet going to clarify to see what are they indicating.
Villagers have been warned to stay away while the rats get down to work. But this is cattle country, and the main track to the waterhole runs right through where the demining teams are working. Rats may not be heavy enough to set off landmines, but the cows most certainly can, and the dogs are an added threat to the rats. For the rat handlers, it's a nervous start to the operation here.
I was actually worried. I know local people really, they know about the existence of landmines and they believe they know the right paths and stuff, but I don't need to believe in that because I know cows can just walk wherever they want. And
let's set off a mine while you're working.
Yeah, so I was actually not very comfortable.
São Paulo.
Cerveza is the leader of the bomb disposal team and has a close relationship with the rats.
Já somos amigos, todos os dias já estamos sempre com os ratos. É mesmo à noite, quando fazem barulho, tem que ir verificar. De dia estamos juntos aqui no field, quase é o nosso dia a dia com o rato.
Cerveza's team needs total confidence in the abilities of their pointy-nosed colleagues. Once the rats have sniffed out the explosives, these men have to walk through the minefield to verify what's been found.
Uma confiança mesmo. Estou confidente no trabalho dos ratos. Tenho confiança completa.
The rats' day finishes early. They're prone to develop skin cancer if they get too much sun. But by the end of today's shift, they've already found this fragment of a mortar mine.
É o resto do morteiro. Já explodiu esse morteiro, então. Ficou.
And 2 live landmines. The final job of the day is to safely detonate the rat's haul.
É TNT quase todo, é TNT. Pentelite todo. É 150 gramas.
Esse aqui chama-se detonador.
It's slow and painstaking work. But bit by bit, Mozambique is being cleared of landmines. And it's all thanks to the work of man's new best friend.